when distance is realized, right? And that's when we start to panic. The devil does not need to push you into sin or entice you into darkness. He just needs you to stop anchoring yourself in truth. Hebrews 2:1 says, this is why it is so crucial that we be all the more engaged and attentive to the truth that we have heard so that we do not drift off course. Because guys, it's easy to drift. I teach church planters and pastors. I coach them all over the nation, and I tell them two things. I've even said this to you. Vision leaks and culture drifts. What does that mean? Vision leaks, so it's got to be constantly refilled because we forget about it. We lose focus. We forget about the vision. We forget about the things that God's called us to because vision leaks. So we got to constantly be filling and being reminded of that. And culture drifts. It's easy to get caught up in the current. We get caught up in the waves. We get caught up in the things. And now all of a sudden we're off course and we're off culturally. We need to be brought back in because what determines our culture is what God is saying, not what we've been taught. Does that make sense? We have to realize that drifting is very, very easy. I've given this example. As a matter of fact, the last time I gave the example, I stood right here when I did it. But it's just that 1 degree that we get off. But if we keep moving in that direction, say that my target is the back where the cameras are, but I get that 1 degree off. If I start moving in that direction, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And the longer I'm moving in that 1 degree off direction, I now wind up being 100 miles off as I continue to move forward. That is what the drift looks like. That's how it feels. That is where we wind up finding ourselves. So the enemy often works gradually, not dramatically. His invitation to dance is subtle and deceiving. He's described by the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. He's described as an angel of light. So what the enemy wants to do is he wants to lie to you because he's the father of lies. But any person who has ever told a lie, we have some people that are notoriously good liars, the best lies are those that are the skin of the truth that are filled with a lie. I shared with you my drama story. I was a part of the Drama Cats at Countryside High School in Clearwater, Florida, and understanding that because there's so many people, auditions, because you had to audition for everything, auditions were hard because there were so many people going for those parts. Freshmen and sophomores had to pay their dues. Juniors started to get a little bit better parts, but seniors got bumped to the top of the list. But when there's a large senior class, there's still a lot of auditioning and there's still a lot of competition. So it's my senior year, and my drama teacher decided that we're going to do a straight play in the fall, and it's called The Andersonville Trial, which is based on the real trial of the Andersonville prison that is you're on 75 going north into Georgia. You pass by it every time you go to Atlanta if you're going in that direction. That's where the Andersonville prison was, and it was a prison, it was a Confederate prison where Union soldiers were held and brutally abused, and Captain Wirtz was the person, he was the commanding officer. He was, and this is a true event, he was on trial, and this play is about that trial. But my teacher decides to make this a crime against humanity play, and so we're not going to have all men. We're going to have men and women, because this is a crime against humanity. We're not just in the Civil War. This is man against man, right? See, he's an artist guy. The reason why I say that is because now a play that would have potentially been all males is now opened up the entire club, right? So you got 300 or 400 kids that are trying out for these parts. It is so difficult for my teacher to make the decision that he says, okay, we're going to do one more part to this audition process. Now, you got to understand, auditions with a school my size took about 2 weeks. Right? So we've been in this thing about 2 weeks. Every day after school, staying 3 or 4 hours as we're going through the audition process. And you had to attend all auditions if you were auditioning, even if it wasn't your part. So it's an arduous process. So he gets up and he says, listen, guys, we're going to take the next 3 days, and what we're going to do, the deciding factor is going to be you telling a story of something that you feel bad about, something that you regret, something that was a life-altering situation that messed you up, and I want you to be real, and I want you to share your emotions. I come to the first day of auditions. Fortunately for me, we went in alphabetical order. Well, I'm an R, so I got to go through all the other ones first, right? My audition day was the very last day to tell my story. Guys get up, and they're talking about feeling responsible for their moms and dads getting divorced. This one guy, one of his siblings committed suicide, and he felt like it was his fault. And I mean, we're getting these gut-wrenching stories. Everybody's crying. And I think to myself, I feel bad because I watched MTV, and it's against the rules of my house for me to watch MTV. I feel bad because I lied to my dad that I made an A on my test when I really failed it. I feel bad because my sibling killed himself and I feel at fault. I told my dad a lie that I made an A and I really made an F. There's no comparison to guilt, right? So I'm perplexed in what I'm going to do. So you know what I did? I made up a story. I'm a method actor, so I find something in my life that I can relate to, and I pull that out on stage. So I can cry on stage, I can laugh on stage, I can feel the emotions, and they're real in that moment. So I get in